Yo, what's guys, been Fire here, back from the video, and today we're going to be hopping into JonBeast's championship most feared offense out of the gun bunch offset formation and the bunch strong nasty a little bit. Now, this formation is going to be very good for a multitude of reasons. Reason number one is just very high powered. Now, reason number two, it's balanced with Hot Route Master. You can do a ton with this. There's a lot of really good stock routes. Now, it's not the most crazy offense. He doesn't run too many plays, but very effective. A lot of really good stuff in here. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel down below for more of these videos. Let me know what you want to see next. Now, talking about the game, did he really deserve to win? I don't think so. He got really lucky in that championship game. Onside kick, drop pick six. The list goes on. The other guy's receiver stopped running his in route. So you have a lot of reasons that he got lucky, but overall, I think his offense is a little bit better. So we have that. If you guys want the written version, I will allow it for purchase. Similar to what we did with Henry's, it'll only be $3.99, not too bad, and it has a lot of really good setups in here. So playbook-wise, we're in Philly. Now audibles, he didn't actually set up any audibles. I'm going to throw smash return in there. The three plays we're going to be running is going to be double post on the right-hand side right there. And we also have Verts halfback under, as well as smash return, which my face is kind of covering. So the most important part about this is having Hot Route Master. It's going to be a key ability for this particular offense. So you do need Hot Route Master. Other than that, man, just going to be hopping straight into it. Now, I generally recently like running this bunch on the short side better. The corner routes seem to get more open. You have more space for things like crossing routes. You guys will see why. Now, the play we're gonna start out in double post here, move into Verts halfback under afterwards. So starting out with double post, our first setup is going to be drag X, drag A, streak RB, and then block the running back. This is a solid setup. And with the way offense is and just how tough it is to play defense in this stage of the game, it's pretty smart just to go with these simple setups where you're minimizing mistakes. You can check it down to these drags, pick up 10 yards that we got right there. Make things simple on you. Now, as far as this post route against something like a cover three, it's not going to be open kind of when you think it will. You kind of have to throw it a little bit later. So you are going to need a little bit of time. Maybe you move in the pocket like that. Now, that's not the best pass lead. You probably want to almost pass lead down and kind of undercut it. But typically, you can kind of hit it in that spot. If you try and throw it early, like right here, that's where it gets intercepted. You have to throw it later for it to be open. So keep that in mind. We'll show it one more time. And again, we have a lot of setups, so I'm going to be as time management as possible. Actually, we're going to run one more time since I'm continuing to make the same mistake. But with the post route, it's going to be good against man coverage. And then you want to throw it right about here. You can aggressive catch it if you're going to take a hit. Otherwise, you can rat catch it, maybe make someone miss, things like that. Now, our receivers aren't going to run these routes great because it's Kansas City and they have no good receivers. But we'll work with what we have because Mahomes is the only player with Hot Route Master in this game, and I didn't want to do something where I'm like trading over 5 receiver apprentices and a tight end apprentice and a running back. It's just a lot. So we'll just use the Chiefs. Our next setup is going to be streak RB, angle Y, block A. This is a nice little high-low concept. Pretty man coverage kind of setup. You have your C route over here that can, of course, get open against a lot of these. You have post, nice, and then you have a little angle route here with Edwards-Helaire. So with the C route, it's not going to do a whole lot for you against zones. Cover 2, maybe you can hit it. Cover 3, it's going to be caged, so it's more of a man coverage route. It's not something you could do. But in this situation, there's not a whole lot that you can really do with him anyway. So we're really just deciding between Y and B here. So you hit Edwards-Helaire early if you can. Moving into the bird crash and later in the play, that is where you want to hit the post. This setup might be a little bit better from the other hash mark, but it doesn't matter too much. Here you can hit the post. Now again, you are going to need an extra second of time, so be cautious in the pocket because you could get shedded. You may have to either A, step up, B, slide to the right, or C, any other option. So next setup is going to be drag X, put the running back on an out route to the left. You're going to post A, corner RB, streak B, and motion them out. So this is kind of just a straight up Hot Route Master setup. You could run this play out of any gun bunch play, or you could run this setup out of any gun bunch play because we're hot routing every single receiver in this route. Corner route's going to be wide open. especially with this motioned out clear out streak. You have this tight end post that I like a lot because you can kind of throw it as a crosser or in the middle of the field. So you're creating a high-low between X and A, and if it's like an all-out man coverage blitz, you can hit CEH kind of early on his baby out, although I don't prefer to. So you see Kelsey runs a beautiful route, just a piss poor throw from Patty Mahomes right there. Not sure what's up with that, but that's Madden 24 for you. So motion out a streak, corner out. Obviously, you're going to have a lot of space here with KT, be able to hit that on the sidelines. If it's press man-to-man coverage, either of those guys can kind of be open. And I love having the tight end on this post against press man-to-man coverage because, again, he can't get pressed himself. Later in the play, you have like this drag that you can maybe hit, or you can kind of throw across the field to Kelsey. So generally, it makes sense to throw it a little bit earlier, but if you have to wait, you can kind of see how you'll have a later high-low between the running back and the tight end in this setup. I'll show that again. See if we can get the protection. So I'm going to slide to the left and try and kind of hit this a little bit later. So we slide over here, and you can kind of hit him later. I pass lead down just to ensure that we don't take an unnecessary hit, because that's going to be important. Fumbles are one of the most effective ways to get stops in this game with how defense has been recently. So definitely want to keep that in mind. But next setup is going to be pretty basic. You're just going to drag this slot receiver. This is a setup that was really popular in like Madden 21, I believe. Simple. You have two underneath routes. You have a few over the top routes with the C route and the post route. This is a setup that, once again, may be a little bit better from the other side, but really what you're trying to do here is just get a quick snap off. You're trying to catch your opponent, not getting all of his adjustments off. If he's making a ton of adjustments, then you can just come to the line, do this. You can still hit B in this kind of sweet spot. Pass lead down, though, so that you don't throw a pick or eat a hit stick. And then again, it's important that this receiver can make contested catches, so don't put a smaller guy here. And then you have a high-low later in the play between the tight end and CEH. That tight end may be a little bit more open on the other side of the field once again, but if it's something like a cover 2, he can definitely get over the top of a cloud flat if needed. So next setup is going to be post X, drag RB, and throw B on a corner route. So I'm a fan of this setup. You have a lot of different things here. This post route is definitely going to be solid if you can hit it timing-wise right about there. Now, there's some things we do a little bit later in the video to where that post is a little bit more opened up than it typically is. But the setup is going to be solid. You have a few different routes. Now, with Kelsey, you can hit him as a traditional flat route and pick up a ton of yards because he kind of cuts upfield for you, which makes your job a little bit easier. You don't have to worry about like catching it and then going upfield. Now, this concept is going to be better from the short side just because of the fact that there's less congestion. If it's on the wide side of the field, typically that's where you see them kind of running into each other. But with Sky Moore, he doesn't get too open. I would stay away from that route as he may be going to the hospital after that pass. So he's really more of a clear out for Kelsey. But of course, if he's playing like a hard flat over there, you can catch him off guard with that. So we have post. Later in the play, you have your two checkdowns. If you can hit CEH here, Kelsey can actually pick up a block for you in most cases, or you can hit KT going to the other side. So last setup for double post. Post X, you're going to streak Y. You're going to motion this guy out, actually. This is going to be a good setup to open up X against cover 2 specifically or something like that. So I am a fan of that. You're going to post RB, so we go with a little shorter post the first time doing that, I believe. You'll see that more in verticals and smash return as well. You're going to put B on a corner route and then just run it like this. So we still have our flat corner route. We have a little backside post. Now, I maybe would like a drag, but I don't hate this little clear out concept. And boom, you can see you can hit MVS here. Again, it is a tougher throw, so be careful if he has some big-time players with abilities in that linebacker spot. I would be careful of that. Now, again, keep in mind a lot of these defenses might not be played with 2 hook curls. It might be his user and a hook curl. So a lot of these routes that don't look too open right now, they could definitely be open. With KT, I like him more as a crossing route if I'm able to. We get not good blocking there. And again, you're blocking 5, so you probably want to get the ball out as quickly as possible. But if you have enough time, and again, you can block Kelsey if you want. I'm going to try and hit KT here as a crosser. I forgot to put our X on his post, but you can kind of hit him in that spot generally. Let's hop into our next setup, which is going to be Verts halfback under. And with Verts halfback under here, pretty simple play. You're going to post RB, block your running back for the first setup. Just a decent little quick snap type setup. You can kind of stretch the outside of the field right here as Hendon makes a hell of a play right there. But This play is another one where I like using RB as a crosser. You try and like kind of quick snap some of these routes, A or B. They're both kind of open. That curl flat doesn't play much. Just depends on the coverage, really, which one will be open. So you're trying to catch his user kind of lacking. A lot of times what people think they can do is kind of work that tight end route and then go back to the post. But since he's on like a flatter post, you should run this route a little bit quicker and kind of allow you, and there, boom, you can hit him as a crosser, whereas that deep over a lot of times will get played by the outside third or outside quarter, whatever it is on that left side. Also, if it's man coverage, this post will be a lot better than that other route because it's running sideline to sideline rather than vertically, where if you throw it vertically, it's an easy undercut interception. So that's your first setup. Second setup is going to be angle Y, post RB, and you're going to block the tight end. A little bit of a similar setup to one of the double post setups. You have a post, again, this wheel route, and then an angle. Just create a simple high-low read. Decide who you want to throw it to. Both should be open. It just kind of depends on the timing, which one you want to throw it to. Y is typically going to be your first read. If you can hit him, throw him. If not, you have RB either as a crosser. You can throw him in that window that we did. So it's a tight throw with that hook curl there. Again, a lot of those defenses that your opponent's playing, he's going to be probably throwing multiple guys to the sidelines to where that route becomes a little bit more open, or you can hit him in that window right here that I tried to, but we get shedded. So offensive line is key, and what happens when you block the tight end a ton of times in this bunch, I noticed, is it creates a one-on-one between him and this player, which is Josh Allen, their best pass rusher. So you're going to probably want to slide to the right so that you can get a double team with them, and then we have enough time, or not, to throw that route. So that's setup number 2. Setup number 3 is going to incorporate a post again. So we're going to post RB. You're going to drag A and throw Y on the angle. Pretty much the same thing. You're just adding a drag. So you can go with this. This is going to give you another underneath route. So the angle typically catches a lot of eyeballs. If you can keep his user underneath, the progression for the user is going to be angle to drag on the other end. So your post should be the moneymaker in this case. And again, a lot of these setups are going to be pretty easy. So you can kind of snap the ball quickly. You're not motioning like a whole ton, which is definitely a good thing. So if you can snap the ball faster, the better. Try and step up in the pocket if you can. That's just going to make those zones move a little bit. And you can hit KT over the top right there. So anyways, hopping into our next setup, what we're going to do here is we are going to go ahead, drag X, post A, streak RB, and block Y. So a little drag post. And again, we're switching between a ton of different routes here to where it's difficult. If this guy's on a C route, you want a flat zone on the left, but a lot of times you can ignore it. We always have crossers going to that side. He's going to have to throw something over there. So a lot of times just throwing him on a drag and catch him off guard. Again, those hook curls generally will not be there. It'll probably be his user and one hook curl, or just his user, because either this or what's he gonna have to do? He's gonna have to rush 3 people. So if he's rushing 3 people, you're gonna have a lot more time to find these open routes. Whereas if I'm getting shedded to death right now, it's not gonna be the case if those hook curls are typically out there, because he's gonna have to sacrifice it somewhere. Either have 2 hook curls or rush 4 people. If he's blitzing, it becomes a lot easier because you can hit something like a quick drag. And again, vertically down the field, you still have these different routes like B that can get open on the sidelines. You see the streak does a really good job of pushing that outside third up, which allows you to actually hit that wheel on the sidelines. So don't ignore that route. But last setup's going to be post A, corner RB, streak B, and block Y. This was a setup that he ran on that 4th down where he was kind of in his own section where he turned the ball over, and I think DJ went up 10 afterwards. So this setup's not really good. I don't love this setup a lot for fairly obvious reasons. You have no underneath option. But if it's like a 3rd and 15, you can definitely hit some of these routes deep down the field. We have Kelsey there. You have your corner out on the opposite side. Now, this corner out's not going to be the best against cover 3. It should still get open on the short side, but if you're running this play on the wide side of the field, it's not going to work. But on the short side, you can fit it in right here. Timing-wise, you're going to need a possession catch. KT does a good job there, keeping his feet in. So, overall, definitely a money setup for deep plays, but in casual, like 1st and 10, I'm not going to this play. I don't want to run it a whole lot because it can be easy to defend if he has one deep curl flat on either side. The user takes the other route, kind of what happened in the actual game. So let's hop into our last set of bunch offset plays, which is going to be smash return here. Smash return is going to be used for one reason. It's going to be Sky Moore's route here. So you're not going to run the play stock, but take a look at his route. He runs a little zig route that's actually breaking to the inside. One of my favorite routes because it is so dangerous. It's in sticking up out of Y trio off weak. I was really good out of those formations, man coverage beater, all the above. So we love this play, and what we're going to do first is we're going to cross RB, we're going to drag A, we're going to streak X, block Y. This is going to turn him into a crossing route. I'm going to slide to the left, try and get some extra protection. You kind of want to use Kadarius Toney here as a crosser, but you have a few underneath options if this is taken away, which would probably be his user. But you can bait out the user with drags. If he's a step behind, and this year with the user, if you're a step behind, you can generally always throw this over the top. So if we get our protection, we can hit him right about here. Now, that may still be thrown it a little bit earlier, but we got shedded, so I had to get rid of the football. So that's going to be your setup. You can run this play from the wide side of the field as well. I'm running short side just because I don't want to respot the ball 20 times. But this play may be a little bit better going to that side just because of the fact that Kadarius Toney doesn't have to run as much ground to get there. So that could be an option. But again, it doesn't matter a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. So you'll see these linebackers pinch down really tough on Kelsey and Sky Moore, but you can hit him in this window and still pick up about 7 yards. So you'll take that. But that's why this B receiver is important. These outside receivers are important if you're not flipping to make those contested catches. This guy's going to be more of your route runner. He's going to be more important to making sideline catches, things of that nature, because he's running corner routes and crossers to where he's catching the ball on the sidelines. That shouldn't be really around too many people, but these guys are going to be in tight windows on the posts and these little underneath routes, so keep that in mind. Next setup is going to be streak RB, drag A, block Y. You're going to motion X in, and then you're going to throw him on a crosser. So this is a little bit of a different play, something we haven't done yet out of bunch, and this play can kind of be a tell. A lot of these plays are difficult to read because we've ran about 12 setups and they've all kind of looked the exact same. You're not motioning a whole lot, but out of this particular play, you are motioning, so it may be a giveaway, but it's fine. Sometimes your opponent knows exactly what you're running, but the question is, can he stop it? Typically, the answer is no. Now, if he sheds like that, Clyde Edwards-Helaire was blocking air, it becomes difficult. And again, I don't foresee him sending any more than 4 people at this stage of the game. It's possible, but I wouldn't expect it. Anyways, here again is your setup. Drag A, streak RB, see if we can actually get some protection here. And oh my god, dude, he just beats him on every play, and it's so annoying right now. Like the fact that I can't get more than 3 seconds of time ever, beyond frustrating. Maybe if we try and roll out over here, finally get the time, and that is kind of what it looks like. So protection is going to be a key in this offense because it's a lot of delayed routes. In Ultimate Team, if your team is even average, you'll be fine with getting more protection than this. Chiefs offensive line, not great, especially with Jawan Taylor and those fellas over there. They stink. So that's kind of your result. But next play is going to be drag A, post RB, streak X, block Y. Fairly similar to the crosser. You're just using a post instead of the crosser. So everything should look the same. You can use KT as a crosser or throw him in the middle of the field a little bit better. And again, with these little throws where you're in the middle of the field, you can make people miss, pick up a ton of yards after the catch. Again, fairly simple setup. You can kind of get it off quickly. I forgot to put X on the streak there, but again, this route's always going to be open. There's a hook curl over there. He doesn't do a lot. The user almost has to defend it because that route will be man coverage as well. So it just makes life pretty tough on the user. And again, you can always hit this drag if you need. Pick up at least 5, probably closer to 6 or 7. So generally, you're fine with hitting that. Anyways, the last setup is going to be post X, wheel Y, drag A, corner RB, and then you're going to motion this wheel actually out. This is a route that eats a lot against coverage. You can hit Clyde Edwards-Helaire here against a lot of different defenses. Now, if he's in man coverage, that route's going to get wide open. If there's a deep half, that route gets wide open. So definitely take advantage of that. Against a third or a quarter, it's not going to be as effective, but still can work decent. And again, you're dragging A on, I think, all these setups. So that's going to be your constant. You're always keeping this drag. You're always keeping him. You have a corner out over here. It's going to be a decent man beater. It won't really be open. We'll see if it is. Maybe it is open a little bit, but you're going to have to undercut it. He drops the ball. It's tough to throw against an outside third. Unless he's pressed, maybe it's a little bit better. But in this case, it's not. So again, motion this wheel route out, drag A, post X. With X, he should be a little bit more open here. Step him in the pocket, aggressive catch, and he should be able to come down with the ball if you have a high enough overall receiver. So solid play there. But let's hop into the bunch strong nasty stuff. Now, we have 2 plays out of this. It's going to be wide trail and PA bunch shot. So this is just a simple audible. And these plays are really, really good. So the first setup is just going to be out to the right. You're going to keep the drag, the angle, the corner, and then you have this backside post. I would practice this play because there's a lot going on. You want to get good at not missing the reads. Out of this play, you have all these really good routes. There's always going to be an open receiver. It's fairly impossible, I feel comfortable saying, to defend everything because you can't. You need someone in the middle of the field. This guy beats man coverage. Corner out, you need someone on the outside. You have a drag, you have an angle, those and a running back. These all beat man coverage. You can't run man. You can't play the sidelines because you have this post and this drag and the angle. It's the user can't defend everybody. So I feel comfortable saying there's always going to be someone open. Now this post, I like it more as a crosser than like a dead post because it kind of cuts vertically upfield. It's not the best route that it could be. So if you really want to, you can throw him on a separate post. And I would feel fine doing that just to get him to defend this, to run this middle of the field better. But look at the space we have over here. We've never had anywhere close to that much space on the drags out of any other plays. Just shows you the level of skill of this play. You can also smart out X. I think that would have him run a little bit shorter. Feel free to do that. Over here, you have Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Kadarius Toney. That's a little high-low read. Decide between who you want. If it's cover 2, the corner out's going to be open. If it's anything like a cover 3, the running back is going to be your guy. So that's your first setup. Second setup is going to be 2 flat B. You're going to throw Y on an angle. You're going to block A, cross B, and streak RB. So this is a solid setup. Kind of throws me back to Madden 20, Madden 21, like a near flex close setup almost, where you have like an angle, a little crosser, flat, simple high-low between the angle and the crosser. And again, these crossers, you think you're defending them with 30-yard flats or 20-yard flats. They get over the top of a whole lot of stuff. So if you get the time, these routes, they're always open. I like the fact of keeping the bunch on the short side in this formation a lot because you want that crosser to be able to run free. And he would run free on that post, but he's going to run a little bit smoother, a little bit faster on this particular setup. So again, here's a look, little angle route. You can hit this flat pretty much every play, or you have this angle. They're both wide open against zone. They're both going to get open against man. So that's just a really solid setup to go to. Last setup out of wide trail is going to be streak B, throw the running back on and out to the right. You're going to drag B or drag RB. So with just a little bit of a different setup, you can use X more of as a crosser in this setup. Again, you can smart out X if you want, but I like having the drag a little bit in this position. And again, with X, if you get the time, you can hit him kind of over the top like that. You can go crosser in this setup as well. Feel free to change these up if you prefer something. I'm just going to, tell you exactly the way that it's ran by him. So again, drag RB, streak B, throw your running back on an out route, and then boom, you have Clyde Edwards-Helaire wide open. You can hit KT right here, pick up about 7. And then Kelsey is going to be open a lot of times, but what he does a really good job of is just occupying the zones if there's any zones. And again, if it's man, Kelsey will be open, but I see Kelsey getting usered a lot when I run this play, so I generally will try and just not throw it to him because he's going to get usered. You can get baited on that route very easily, so be careful. You need a lot of space to hit him because a lot of times the user is coming from the left side. So he's going this way. Your route's going, it's kind of a collision course. So I stay away. But last setup's going to be PA bunch shot. And one thing I will say, if you made it to this part of the video, is that I only took these plays from the championship game. I didn't take it from the other game. So this is only from one game. I didn't watch the other game. There may be other setups. Who knows? I would assume not, but there's always different setups that, it is what it is. There's a good amount here, as you see. So PA bunch shot, what do we like here? We like this wheel route out of this play. We're going to go with B on a corner, A on an out route. You're going to motion Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you're over to the left, creating kind of a 5-wide bunch look. And this setup is going to be very, very good. Deep post, wheel, backside kind of drag, and then out route. There's a lot here. This is another play that you may want to practice. One thing you like is this wheel to drag combo. The wheels are probably the best route in the game of just clearing out zones. So being able to have that is going to be money. Over here on the right, you have a high-low read. Don't ignore this. Now this post route, you could also smart out if you want. You can kind of hit him. It's not as throwable from the slot. The zones pick it up well. Specifically, that inside third will play it well. But if it's cover 2, he could be wide open. And then over here on the right, you have Kelsey. Hit either one of these guys. It's a tougher high-low over here, especially if he goes with like a curl flat or something. But if it's cloud flat, one of those guys will be open. Just don't make the wrong read. And that's why I would practice this play. Anytime there's these plays where there's like 5 different routes that could be open, you want to practice it, because if you get in the game, you're in a situation you may not know who to throw it to. So I would practice it with X. Again, you see it's better as a streak, but if it's cover 2, or maybe you can also hit it deep late. We'll try that on this next play, see if we can do that, because that may be kind of what this play is doing. It's more of a shot play, I think. So trying it one more time, we'll see if we can hit MVS. The protection is going to be the most important thing here. He kind of clears out. I would maybe also smart out him on that. You can kind of throw it later like that. He would be open if you smart outed that, but it has to be like a 1st and 10 or anything shorter for that route to be smart outed and be more effective. But we have our last setup out of the PA bunch shot. We're going to wheel Y, out A, corner B, post RB, and then we're just going to motion him over. Basically the same setup, but we have RB on a post instead of a drag. So just a deeper setup. You're looking for something down the field. So X is going to be open a little bit later. I will actually try and hit that play. But the corner outs don't do much. Kelsey was open. Your post is going to be open more as a crosser. And then smart out X. He should be open in this window. You see Kadarius Toney will be open. Kelsey will be open. But if you get the time, you can maybe hit X a little bit earlier than I threw it there. But overall, it's going to do a video. If you guys enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel down below, and peace. I'm out of here.